Acropolis, Athens.
The ultimate embodiment of ancient Greece's golden period. What is not often mentioned, however, is that before its construction, Athens had been destroyed by Persians. An important nugget of history for us to properly understand the importance of such a magnificent ancestral structure. The Persian army threatened the Greek coasts. The day before, however, the Greeks had seen an owl fly by. Athena's symbol, the goddess that would protect and guide them to victory. The warriors, inspired by this, would then go and surprisingly defeat the Persians in a fierce battle, the Battle of Salamis. This unexpected victory would have birthed a new period which brought stability for Athens and its allies. This is how the Golden Period began. Short after the Delian League was formed, an alliance of ancient city-states. This was the authority that would defend Greece's independence and freedom from the Persian threat. One man, whose name you may have heard before, was the designated leader of this newfound organization. Pericles of Athens. Pericles had a clear goal: to make Athens the political and cultural capital, and thus effectively creating the Athenian Empire. You by this point may be asking yourself, how is this related to the Acropolis? Well, simple. The Acropolis would come to be Pericles' base of operations. It would declare to the rest of the world as the absolute symbol for Greek superiority, unity, and democracy. A monumental declaration of dominance. In 447 BC, Pericles started redirecting resources of the empire to build the Acropolis, a gloriously ambitious project. For such high standards, three brilliant individuals in each of their fields were to be involved: Callicrates and Ictinus as the architects, and Phidias as the sculptor. Finally, the project was to be materialized as a perfect conjunction of ancestral ideologies and a series of temples and public places. This divine project wanted to be unique and easily recognizable. Thus, the Propylaea was born, a separation between the yet evolving and ever-growing world and the sacred lands within it. From the Propylaea to the north, the Erechtheion was to be set, a temple named after Erechtheus, ancient god-king of Athens and considered to be very close to Athena herself. This would become the Acropolis' most religious site. Facing the Erechtheion, south, the Parthenon, a magnificent structure placed in the highest point of the complex, built entirely in white marble. This would be the palace, set and fit for the goddess Athena and the treasury for Athens. An ideal place, considering it would be guarded by the goddess herself. Complementing these structures would be the temple of Athena Nike. And no, it's not that Nike you're thinking of. It's the Greek word of Nike, victory. A structure that overlooks the Bay of Salamis, where the great victory against the Persians took place, celebrating it once again. Pericles' Acropolis was said to be one of the peaks of Athenians and their lifestyles. It had to be great. This devotion to make it the greatest of all would force every structure to be bigger and better to all others, making the Parthenon the crowning glory of Athens and Athenian life. It was built over an earlier Parthenon, raided and destroyed by the Persians, with it purging the shame of the loss and declaring victory once again. As mentioned, the Parthenon, as well as the other structures, was built entirely out of white marble, which was a local stone. For the Athenians, a structure built with such material and being entirely white symbolized a pure democratic society. This was such an important element for them that out of all the stone they had quarried, only about 50% of it was used. To visualize this, around 180,000 tons were quarried about 14 miles away. the Acropolis was certainly said to be the greatest of all time. The quality of the construction did not dwell either, for the durability of the project to be present over 2,500 years later has proven itself. Consider that each stone was cut and placed with very fine precision. The joints between the rocks have shown to be less than 1/20th of a millimeter. The layout was built so when the Athenians celebrated the biggest, most important holiday, the Panathenaic festival, and reached the Acropolis, every key structure would be visible and accessible. A layout that is centered in the line of the sun as it passes from east to west. The Parthenon, when constructed, rose to be 7 meters long and 31 meters wide, surrounded by 48 columns, and each column was 10 meters high in a total area of 1,200 square meters. The Erechtheion, Old Temple of Athena, has the famous Porch of the Maidens, 6 draped female figures as supporting columns. The porch was built to conceal the giant 15-foot beam needed to support the southwest corner of the Acropolis. Overlooking the Acropolis, Athena Promachus, Athena who fights in the front line, a colossal bronze statue of Athena located between the Propylaea and the Parthenon. According to the Greek traveler Pausanias, the top of Athena's helmet, as well as the top of her spear, could be seen by sailors and anyone approaching Athens from Attica. The entire complex was composed of 21 carefully crafted structures. However, all were not part of the initial project, were as major as the Parthenon, Erechtheion, or the Temple of Athena Nike. These other structures were the Chalcotheke. Its functional structure is unknown. The Patrocian, built as a sanctuary for Patroclus, who was one of the daughters of Cecrops I, a king of Attica. The Arhiphorion, a very small building located besides the north wall of the Acropolis, and provided lodgings for the Auraphoras. The Sanctuary of Zeus Polius, a walled open-air sanctuary for Zeus, located on the east of Erechtheion. The Sanctuary of Pandion, located in the southeast corner of the Acropolis. The Temple of Eleusinion, a temple dedicated to the goddess of agriculture, Demeter. The Odeon of Herodes Atticus, built by him in the era of the Roman Emperor in memory of his wife, similar to a Colosseum that has 32 rows of seats and could accommodate more than 5,000 spectators. The Theatre of Dionysius Eleutherius, located in the south side of the Acropolis, built in the 5th century, and the theatre that was the first place to pray to the god of wine, Dionysius. The Stoa of Eumenes, located in the southern part and donated to Athens by King Eumenes II in 160 BC. The Odeon of Pericles, built in 435 for the theatre audience to take refuge in bad weather. And the Asclepion, a temple dedicated to Asclepius, that was said to be a skilled doctor who could even bring people back from the dead. Certainly, the Acropolis of Athens is one of the greatest architectural projects and a certain demonstration of the capability of ancient Greece engineering.